All right, guys, I got Kennon Dixon with Chicago Title. She's on the show today. We are going to talk about some top producing agents. We're going to talk about the similarities between all of them that we've noticed over time.
Yes.
And then how you complement them. Because I know Chicago Title and you specifically help them advertise themselves.
We do try to help in the marketing.
Yeah, we all want top producing agents. I mean, we're
Right.
both vendors, and we like working with top producing agents.
Yeah, I mean, there's two trains of thought. I mean, I don't know about you, but I have A clients, B clients, C clients.
Sure.
And that could be based on production. Like, okay, they're just not producing as much, you know, and it may not be because they don't want to produce. It could just be, hey, I'm semi-retired now. You know, you hear that all the time, right? I'm phasing out. Or it could be they split up their business. And a lot of agents will do that. I mean, I don't know. Do you see that on your end? Where they'll
Sometimes, yeah.
Where they say, well, I have to give 3.
Right, exactly.
I see that like, oh, I have to have 3, or I have to have 2, or I have to give options.
They kind of do that to protect themselves, I've noticed.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but I think the idea in my business and in yours is to maybe
Be the top of the list.
Be the top of the list,
Yeah.
or you start off as getting 40% or 30% or 50%, and you just kind of prove your worth over time, right? I mean, that's what I do. And once you do that, then all of a sudden you might get 60 or 70.
Right.
Or 80.
We have
90.
some agents that we're definitely getting 90% of their business.
Right.
Every once in a while, the only time we don't get their business is when they go price shopping. So the agents will have like the top 3 that they like to use are pretty similarly priced.
Right.
And then that person goes, I can't afford any of you guys, and goes out and price shops and beats our price by $200 or something, and it's fine. We don't want to work with them anyways.
Yeah, if you're doing things on price. See, I don't have that same, because title's regulated.
Yes.
So it's different.
It's a fee.
Yeah, it just is what it is. Now, I guess escrow fees can differ.
Yeah.
But we're all pretty the same. I think it's more for us, the hurdle I'm getting over every time is relationship.
Relationship, and then I also know with title companies is just proficiency. How good are you at getting through the paperwork?
Oh yeah.
Find it, like with the title policies, or finding the problems, the liens, and working through the process
Quickly, efficiently.
and on time.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't work that end of it. I have amazing closers that do that, and I do, especially with Chicago Title, feel very strongly I have the best in the game and the most seasoned.
You've been selective though, because you've moved to a few title companies, but I've noticed with you seem to follow the same group of people.
Yeah.
And you work with the same group of people.
Well, yes. The first one was before we met, back in 2016. I don't know if I should name the title companies I worked at. It doesn't matter. I was, that group. And then I got out completely of the business. And also a lot of the closers were shifting. It kind of was like, okay, my closer was being promoted to like a different brand and going to be managing and not working files. So whenever, like, my product that I sell is escrow, right? That's my product, is the closer.
Yeah.
So whenever that was happening, plus I was like trying to get married and have a baby, I was dating my now husband, and we knew that's where we were headed. So I got out. But when I got back in, I was at Fair forever. And then, Ashley and I and my assistant, like, we knew we needed to make a jump to the bigger brand, and that's when we moved to Chicago. But
you move around with your group.
Yes, but we've only made that one jump from Fair to Chicago.
Okay.
So.
But it's good that you're loyal to the people do the job well.
I think that's the number one. Like, a sales rep is only as good as the product they're selling.
I know plenty of great sales reps that represent a crap company.
Yes.
And
yes.
to no fault
it's
of them.
Funny.
They
on everything.
They put these, they put
on
these,
everything. Lenders, what else? Like,
everyone,
it doesn't matter.
yeah,
Insurance.
Cleaners to stagers.
Yes. Oh, God, yeah. All the time.
And they work for these companies that tell them exactly what they want them to sell, and they do a great job selling. Mm-hmm. And then the company, the back staff, the service side, can't provide.
Terrible. That is the most humiliating place to be. And I'm sure whenever you were growing your company and you eventually stopped doing, where you couldn't do everything. So now you had to hire out guys, gals, whatever, and you had to lean on them. And they're not doing it at the level that you would.
They're not delivering the product I'm selling.
Exactly.
Yes.
And that's the hardest.
We have those cycles. Every time we add a few more inspectors, and we're in that weird, awkward position between, do we add another manager to manage the growth that we've had, or can this guy handle it? And as we get, like, we don't have enough money to hire another manager, but we could probably utilize them in on the process and making sure that our customer satisfaction and our product is delivered the way we want it.
Or do they understand the culture? Do they understand that we aren't the cheapest in the game, but we give a level of service that is at a certain level? That is the hardest.
It's hard, yes. That is very hard.
With being a vendor in this world.
Being a vendor is interesting, yeah.
Yeah, plus, like, you tell people you're in real estate, and they don't realize all the pieces of real estate that are involved.
Right.
So they start, I mean, obviously we know about the market, but we aren't experts on the market. We're experts in what we do. Like,
Yes.
if you want to talk to me about marketing yourself as an agent, like, that's where I'm like, okay, let's go. Like, that's what I do every day.
I've noticed that when you're selling Chicago Title, obviously, but you're also selling kind of Kennon's version of how I can help you grow your business with it.
Yes, always.
What are you, because we do this podcast to help
Right.
agents, right?
Right.
We, of course, all of us are offering to sponsor or host things for them.
Right.
That's just part of the game.
Right.
But my creative thing was this. So I bring them on the show, and we're literally promoting them. We're talking to them. We're learning their story. And then we publish it.
And that helps. That helps their social media, everything.
We do it in the verticals. We do the reels. We do the horizontals. We put
Right.
captions on it, and we send it all to them and let them publish it.
However they want.
Right. So we create all this content for them.
That's amazing. That's a great.
It has worked very well.
And I try to, even on my end, I'm always like, I would say I'm more of a tools person. I try to meet people and leverage their tools. Like, just example, whenever you started really getting this whole setup going, I will ask them who are using for inspections.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Does your inspection person do this? Do they do this? Well, maybe you should meet Lewis. You know, he has this really great, and I'll show him clips from my other clients. And I'm not kidding. I've literally sat there in a meeting and shown, like, hey, like, I'm more of the connections person. So I try to always be up on the latest, greatest, whether it's AI. Like, right now I am being, I don't know if you guys have heard of Breakthrough Broker. It's an old school tool, but they've really upped their game.
Yes, I've heard of it.
Yeah. So old school Breakthrough Broker is just like, kind of like that old phone. Like, it was just kind of a joke. But now it can, auto, once you, like, put in your listing or whatnot, it pulls from MLS, like, it's like 20 something pieces of marketing, I believe. It's like it's a lot. It's either between 16 and 20 something pieces. That's still, even at that, even 16, right? That's an insane amount of marketing that is generated for you for graphics, for social media, everything like that. So you stay on that. It's also now starting a AI piece, a front desk AI piece. Like, and I'm signed up to be the trial person for that. So for me, it's all about being ahead of all those pieces to expose my agent to that.
Well, you do a very good job of it. I mean, I notice when an agent has worked with you, and there's this, like, sense of camaraderie where you guys are working together and you're creating something, but they seem so much more, like, thrilled and open and confident when they're pushing the tools they're using, their social media side, and then utilizing.
Because that's part of the thing. That's a part of the plan. You're not just making a plan for your marketing. So I'm like, okay, what are we doing on your social media? Even though I personally don't do a ton of social media, I do, because I think it's very important to stay active, but I'm also not promoting my own business. Does that make sense?
Right.
So if I always say, okay, so you need to be posting to your stories regularly. You need to make a social media plan. And hey, by the way, I don't know who you're using for inspections, but you should call Lewis.
Yeah.
Because he's going to give you some content for free. And, start that relationship. You should really open up that. Hey, here's everything you're going to need for your open house. So as a new agent, they're like, I didn't even know I needed that. Oh my gosh.
And you're gaining their trust the whole time.
Right.
You're working with them.
Buyer's guides, seller's guides, once you become an experienced agent, you're going to build that out, brand it to yourself. You're going to do it the way you want it done, and maybe just make a few tweaks along the way. But when you're brand new and there's all these things that are coming at a new agent that they don't know, they don't know where to go first, right? They are just learning how to use the MLS. Now somebody's saying that they need to start meeting lenders, inspectors, things like that, meeting an insurance person, meeting a title person. So they got to get all those relationships and sift through who their people are, who they mesh with the best, who they vibe with. Not to use a trendy term, but I feel like that's the thing. It's like, oh, my vibe, my tribe, whatever. So they have to do that. They also have to then create their buyer's presentation, their seller's presentation. So if I could take that off their list, like I have buyer's guides, seller's guides, things that are just a few steps ahead.
Right.
To where they don't have to think about that right at that moment. Make sense? So they can think about, okay, let me lead gen, because that's the most important thing. If they're not lead generating, nothing's happening. So we need to make it easy. We need to streamline it. Okay, you just got a listing? Great. Let me pull some information that you can go door knocking with to get people at your open house.
You're one of the few vendors I know of, because I work with probably 30 vendors that I see regularly. 4 or 5 of them, I mean, we've teamed up on some things, but 4 or 5 of them I'll split lunch or whatever it is.
Right.
Very few of them do anything other than offer their product with a discount code or a bonus or something, right? And you give them tools. And I tell this to other vendors all the time, and I tell this to agents too. Your value proposition has to be better.
Yes.
Because you're offering something that's a regulated industry. I am too. So
you have to get creative.
Our inspections are identical to everyone else's inspections.
Same.
We do some things that make it more luxury or more comfortable or whatever.
Right.
And our customer service can be different than my competitor.
Right.
But we're offering the identical product.
Exactly.
It's
like
hard.
hard.
You and I are offering a Honda Civic, and everybody else has a Honda Civic. So like, what separates you?
Right. Exactly.
A little discount, okay, fine. But then you
Yes.
know that you have to offer them something
yeah.
that is unregulated, that you can get ahead of your competition with.
Right.
I think that's why you've been successful in this industry.
Yeah, that is one. But I think the biggest thing is also what I always go back to, and you do it too, relationships. Mm-hmm. Once I do meet a person or maybe do a couple deals with them, we've talked about this. There's no sense of working with somebody you really don't like.
Right.
And I think in the beginning...
It's a waste of energy.
It's a waste of energy. I think in the beginning, and I swear we've talked about this before, you will do anything, and you'll just work with anybody, and you'll just say yes to anybody, and you'll just do it, because you need that money, right? You're like, I need every deal that I can get. Now, if you're like, you know what, I really don't like this person, and not just like I don't like them. Mine is usually they're just really not nice. Like I can like
Definitely
anybody.
Not your tribe.
Yeah, I can like anybody, but I can't do not nice. Or I can't do whenever I hear from a closer that they're just really rude. Like, oh, that person again, oh, so-and-so sent in a contract. Oh God, this is gonna be awful. Like they're so mean or they're so rude to my assistant. That's whereas before I would just make excuses for them and try to like sugarcoat it over and just grit your teeth and bear it. Now okay, I'll let that person go.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm not going to work with somebody that doesn't make me feel good or do the comparison game. Have you ever had this? Well, my other title company, I'm sure you'll see it. Well, my other inspection person, they do this. Oh, it's the worst. And I'm like, if you're just going to do that to me and compare me.
Just go to them.
Just go to them. I'm okay with that. And for once in my career, I'm okay with that. If that makes
You're
sense.
at peace with it.
Yeah, I'm just...
there's 8 million people in DFW. I don't know how many thousands of agents there are. I do know on average there's somewhere between 120 and 140,000 transactions in the DFW metro area. Mm-hmm. If you have 2 or 3% of that...
You're fine. You're fine. Shoot, I would give anything to have 2 or 3% of that.
Well, I don't know the math on it, but that's well over 100 transactions a month.
Yep. And I would love to get to that. We're working on it.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm working on.
2 or 3% of that is going to be a massive
that's all you need.
amount of transactions a month.
Yeah.
And so to think that you can't get 2 or 3% of those transactions. You're going 97% of the people, if you don't match with them, it doesn't matter. Because if you still get that 3% of the market, you are in an unbelievable position in this area. So
Exactly.
I am very much of the understanding, and I'm at peace with if an agent and I don't jive,
You're just like, let them loose.
let them go.
Yeah, let them
Because I want to work with people that I want to work with. And I've figured out that
the formula.
well, yeah, but I've also gained some wisdom over the years that I don't need to get everybody. I don't need everyone using element
Right.
inspection, and it actually works in my benefit if I work with like-minded people, similar culture. Me and the dogs and
Yes.
like we're always donating to animal shelters. We're trying to do
Right.
more with the shelters,
Right.
and people that are like, I don't like pets. I'm like, well, we're probably not going to get along.
Probably not going to get along.
We're
Yeah.
probably not going to get along.
Yeah.
I go outside, I mountain bike, I do all these things, and they're like,
Yeah, you're into that. Like, that's
Yes.
me and my husband. We love the trails. Like, I'm not into the mountain biking. I'm a little scared of that. But we do, like, the big trail runs.
yes.
So, like, you probably heard of this one, because there's bikes in that one too, the Austin Rattler.
Mm-hmm.
So we did that one a few years ago. We were training, we were going to do it again, and then I had Stella, so. But we're probably going to do it this year. I love it. Like, we love those things, like those big 20, 30-mile trail runs. Like, we
I'm
love to
doing
be
a
outside.
100-mile ride
Right.
this summer, yeah.
Right, right. My husband's ultimate goal before, well, it was before 40. I don't know now what it's going to be, but he wants to do a 100-mile like foot rate, like on trail run.
Isn't that like a 2-day event?
It's yes.
2 or 3
Yes.
days?
Yes. I know. I have no desire to do that. I was like, okay, I did the 20-mile one, and that was great, and that was awesome, and it was such a high afterwards. I don't think I'll do it again. I think I'll do the 10-mile. Like, I feel like a 10-mile trail run is just enough fun for me.
Yeah.
Like, it's enough to where you're like, afterwards, you pushed yourself. It's not impossible, but you feel so good afterwards.
So that brings up an interesting perspective too. Obviously, adventure, outside,
Yes.
healthy living.
Yes.
When I am in that category, and when I meet someone that is overweight, doesn't give a crap about
Just
their
wants
health,
to go drink with you all the time.
right? I don't
mind a good alcoholic beverage, don't get me wrong. But if that's all you want to do, if you're like, hey, my other title partner always takes me to get cocktails
Right.
once a week, I'm probably not your partner.
we're not doing that. Well, I don't drink at all.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I don't drink
you're
alcohol.
right.
I know, I'm so weird.
No, that's not weird. That's great. Honestly, like,
I despise going to happy hours, but I know I need to.
Yeah.
So I just walk around with a little.
I feel like we have had this conversation.
Yeah, it's like Topo
just-
Chico with the lemon in it, and I just walk around.
I do that half the time because a lot of times I have to go pick up my kids. So.
Right. I don't
Right.
need it.
Yeah, I'm
But
good.
I have found that I really don't need to go to those happy hours as much because a lot of the agents that love the happy hours don't necessarily share a lot of what I share.
Right.
And so they
don't
might
mind
try using me a few times, but usually it doesn't work out. Our cultures don't
that.
match up. And so that's what I'm saying. If I just
Right.
get 3 or 4% of the market,
I don't mind a good cocktail lunch every now and then. But it's every now and then.
Yeah.
Like to celebrate something, right?
but I know plenty of agents that go every week, 2-3
Oh,
times a
God.
week.
No.
Yeah.
My liver can't. I don't even drink that often. Like, I'm just thinking, no. Me and my husband's not a big drinker. Like, he's like,
Yeah.
alcohol's never worked with him. And something after you have kids, I don't know, for me, this is my experience. After now, baby number 2, my body doesn't respond well to alcohol very
Yeah.
much. Now, I've had cocktails. People are going to be like, Kennon, I definitely drink with you. But there's so many other things.
There's a lot of things. And that's when I align myself and I'm authentic to myself. And I think a lot of realtors have figured this out, the ones that are very successful.
Yes.
The top producers I know are authentically themselves. And
Yes.
they're not faking it, and they attract the people they want to work with. And because they have a good working relationship with this person, because it's energy is like energy, and you're always attracting what you put out,
Yes.
that person is also friends with a lot of people that are similar to the agent. And so they're always broadcasting like,
And then they tell everybody.
John Smith is my agent,
Yep.
and we get along great.
Yep. Oh, you
And
need to meet my title partner. You need to meet my
him.
inspection guy.
Right, and everybody, so that's what I'm getting at with this.
Oh yeah.
You don't have to go get everybody, but if you just authentically yourself and you put out the energy that you want back,
Right.
it's not that hard to get 3, 4, 5% of a market,
Oh yeah.
and you're smooth sailing.
Well, plus like I don't know
Any
about
agent?
you.
Can you
Well, like
imagine if an
you
agent
with the
got
dogs.
even 1%? Yeah.
With the dogs, like So my version of that is like some of my agents, we have kids around the same age, and we've like taken our kids to like go to Cheeky Monkey together or go do this park together. And then I'm involved in their like I love going to their client appreciation parties. Like I know their clients, like, you know, so embedded that it's so intertwined. Our lives are so intertwined.
Right.
Lenders, I know their kids.
Well, that's the like and trust aspect of the business. That's so important. Right. It's relationships. Right.
But that foot in the door is all of this stuff that we bring on the marketing side, or that I try to. If they're, like, I just had a client email me today. Well, a prospect, should I say, not a client yet, a prospect. She was like, hey, Kennon, I need to do a mailer. Do you have an idea for March? Already got it done. I have a list, I have a postcard created with all the spring flowers that grow naturally in DFW. Perfect. Thanks. Got it. Put my stuff on there.
Cool.
Yeah. We'll get it. And I've already shopped the mailing service, and I found the cheapest mailing service for you.
Yeah.
So I just try to take those things off their list. Now, of course, they pay for it. They do all that.
Right.
But they didn't have to do the legwork.
Yeah.
They just said, thanks, Kennon. Okay, here's my credit card. Thank you. You did that. You made life easier for me. You know where all the best places are for, like, okay, brokers open. If they decide to do a brokers open over the open house, which this is kind of out as much as it's coming back. But you know how they used to do like the big brokers open and the pretty like hors d'oeuvres and stuff.
Sure.
Like I know where to get all that stuff the cheapest and make it look the best. Like I try to be that person. What's funny is I'm not that person in real life. Like I'm the mom that like just is like we'll order a bunch of sandwiches.
PB&J.
Yeah,
Yep.
like I'm not like for parties and stuff. Nobody would ever.
But it's important to do that. A lot of the brokerages really appreciate it.
Yeah, or they just appreciate noting where all the connections are.
Right.
Yeah. So that's really what I do.
And that
opens your door, and then you can decide, do I like this person? Do they really mesh with me? Would this be somebody I would hang out with outside of work? Now, I'm not saying everybody has to be your best friend, but like overall, right? Like I'm sure you're not over here in all your free time hanging out with your clients.
No.
No.
No. Some of them, yeah. I've gone mountain biking with several agents before who are in the same sport.
Well, see, I need you to talk to my husband.
He
would love a good mountain biking person. He'd
exactly.
love that.
Been to the gun range with some agents, and just stuff
Right.
that we have similar
interests.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's the key. I mean, I really do believe that. I really do believe that if you're going to be a vendor in this business, you're going to have to be the person that thinks outside of the box. And then once you're like, okay, you do a couple of deals with them, and you're like, all right, let me get to know you on a deeper level. So what's the old saying with you can either cast a wide net or a deep net? Have you heard that in sales?
Yeah.
I don't know. So I kind of like, I don't know if there's really, I feel like you kind of have to cast a wide net, zero it in.
Figure it out.
And then once you zero it in, then go into that deeper. Like that, I mean, that's just been, to me, the way it's worked. And the way I've been able to really build not just one or two, right? Do you ever get that where you're like, man, I get one or two out of them, but I never can get that consistent? So do you find it better to do big groups and introduce yourself that way?
Yes.
Or do you find better one-on-one is more, makes you more?
For me, I know my strengths. I know I'm a good presenter, and I know I can win a crowd over.
Okay.
Because when I get up there, especially...
You're great. You're amazing.
If I'm handed
I've
a
watched
microphone...
it. I can vouch.
If I'm given a microphone and the stage for 5 to 8 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
I can get the majority of the room interested in what I'm talking about.
Yes, you can.
And a little bit excited about using Element.
I want that gift.
So...
I don't have that gift. I have the great one-on-one gift. I do feel like
we have a girl with us, Leia, who does one-on-ones extraordinarily well.
Right.
She is great about picking the person out of the crowd that is a mid to top level producer.
Right.
Going to get lunch with them, and then they start using us.
Right.
And as long as they're happy, they tend to stay with us.
Right.
And so she will spend a little bit more on the one-on-one.
Right.
But there's a very good chance that they're going to stay with us for at least 10 or 15 inspections.
Right. And then there you go, you made it.
So our acquisition versus retention cost, it equals out to be profitable. You have to, and I talk to new business owners who have entered into any of these vendor programs.
You've got them.
The first quarter, you got to be there every month.
Yes.
The second quarter, you got to
I
be
would
there
even
at least-
argue every week. Like
Yeah.
you need to do every month an event, but then every week
Yes.
pop-ins, whatever, something touchy.
For the first 8 months, I'm usually there at least once a month for the
Yeah.
first 8 months of any of them.
Right.
And the first, like you're saying, the first 2 months, I'm there at least every 2 weeks.
Right.
Chatting with them, talking to them, reaching out,
So you're on top of
building
their
a
brain.
rapport. Yeah. Then, and a lot of vendors don't realize that. They think they come in, and like I've met a new roofer, comes in, he brought granola bars. He didn't know that you have to spend a few $100s on breakfast.
Yes.
So he brought granola bars and cheese sticks and
Yeah.
things because they were told snacks and breakfast. So he thought, oh, snacks, okay.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work that way.
And he basically got booed out because.
Oh yeah, even if you bring pizza, like that's the running joke is don't bring pizza. I
Right.
mean, there is some times where you can get away with pizza, I think, but the running joke that at least in our industry is don't bring pizza.
Don't bring pizza. No, I wouldn't want to eat pizza either as an agent. But the vendors don't understand that coming into it, that
No.
it's a monstrous hill to climb because you got to beat the other vendors that have been doing this.
That they have relationships with.
They already have relationships with, they like, they trust.
And they're so busy, they're moving. And I'm not knocking, like, I get it. The agent has 100 million things on. The last thing they want to do is start a new relationship with a new vendor. Like, that
Right.
is just, especially a busy agent who is producing, who is doing things and running and doing, they don't want to change, they don't change up the streamline. Plus, it already is working. So they don't want to break if the equation is working or if everything's moving, why would you, what's the word I'm thinking of? Like, why would you mess with the system, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I get that, 100%. But I'm like, yeah, but you could have a little bit better, you know. Now, when I'm on the other end of that, I don't want them trying out anybody else.
No. That's the retention side of it. It's so
rough.
challenging.
It's rough, but I like it. I mean, we like it.
All right, well,
cool. Yes.
Since we are out of time on at least one of the discs,
Okay. Let's do this.
I appreciate you coming in.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
I love the setup. It's awesome.
So we'll use this one. I'm going to put Kennon's information down in
Yes.
the description below.
Because I don't know it off the top of my head. If
Okay.
you asked me what my Instagram handle is, I wouldn't be able to
We'll
tell
put
you
it all
correctly.
down there. Chicago Title actually is who I've used in the past.
Okay.
So
Well, I'll give you my actual Instagram handle.
Okay.
'Cause I'm somewhat active on it.
we'll put all her information down below. And for any of you agents that are interested in working with Kennon, who's quite honest, especially in this one.
Yes. I was very honest.
Yeah. You
Maybe
know what
careful.
you get. So she'll be down in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.
All right. Cool.